Tires will really tax their tires. But red lights already coming on. The engine notes rise, as does the tension. Who's going to get the best getaway in the World Cup of Nations? Heat number 1. It's a solid start from pole for relapse, but Reifler is going to challenge into turn number 1 for Greece. Runs the Englishman all the way out, and there's the Brazilian of FP.JR challenging for 3rd position. Already into this brand new section. There's some spinners in the background. I think that's Croatia and potentially the other Greek of Tony Montana going round. But the race leaders, they're coming through the loop right now and down onto the first of these straights. Of course, no DRS this early on in the race. Got to wait till lap 3 for that one. So at the moment, if you want to get a move done, it's got to be au natural.
Naturally, yeah, it's an exciting start. And all drivers are still on track, even though you had the wheel-to-wheel action as you expect. But still, I'm loving this liveries here between the countries. You can clearly see there. That's Greece out front there, the blue there, followed by the 2 English drivers and the Brazilian driver there, and the Austrian. So yeah, you guys are not quite sure where they're from. They are the colours, very close to the flags of their country.
Yeah, it's a fantastic effort put in here by the guys in the organisational team. At the moment, the field very close together as they come onto the second of these long straights. Everybody's staying within about range for the overtake, and we might have a change for 3rd position here. Brazil down the inside of England. That's a couple crucial points being gained in that exchange, and it's actually going to run Balin out wide, but he'll gain the inside on the run into Vale. Turn 16, of course, it'll go right in just a second, and Brazil's going to try hang it out to dry. It's not quite an opportunity, and Balin just about hangs on to that one. So it's Greece 1, England 2 and 3, Brazil 4th, but looking menacing at the end of the first lap. Already onto lap 2 of 26 in this 50% race. And Brazil so close as they come through the loop. And then we'll get into Aintree Corner in just a moment. Of course, the British Grand Prix was at one point held at Aintree, but it's most renowned for holding the Grand National Horse Race.
Really close as well. Lots of these battles we're trying to keep on board with, most of them that we possibly can. Is Larson going to?
Larson's going down the inside. It's not quite going to work. However, through Brooklands, you then get into Luffield, where you're on the outside. Can he get the slingshot out the corner? No, because he's very much shown how to have a picnic by the Croatian driver. It's already catching me out. And in fact, Larson going to lose the place to Sam Kapch. That's not an easy name to pronounce either, but crucially, Larson's still 8th and has made up places in this race so far, has shown good fight, so they shouldn't feel too worried about that threat from behind, despite how close the next car of FP.JR is.
Yeah, and now go on board there with Hanty, P5 there. Now he's close, even he's been eyeing up the English driver for a few laps now, and now he's ready to make a pass. He'd like to...
Yeah, just touched a little wheel on the grass, trying to find the space. Gets a move very nicely done. Balin forced to go around the outside. Is again going to be put on the outside. A little bit of a touch there as they enter the braking zone, but potentially those medium tyres on Hanty's car just beginning to work a little bit, because that move looked easier than it should have been, to say the least.
That's unfortunate. Dropping frames. No idea why.
That's very tricky, but what also is tricky is this battle for 5th place. We got Turkey for Croatia trying to go around the outside of Balin for 5th. Not quite going to work out. Does that open the door for Larson, the German, all the way alongside that Croatian liveried car? Is going to gain the inside for both the penultimate and the final corners, and that should be job done. That just shows how brutal this midfield battle is. It's almost IndyCar, NASCAR-like, in that once you're out to dry, you simply cannot gain back into the racing line, and as a result, you're going to lose 2-3 places as Larson attempts to now gain 2-3 places down the inside of Turkey. Turkey locking up the fronts 2 corners in a row, so they might be beginning to struggle for grip under braking. German still around the outside as they complete the loop now onto the Wellington straight. Got the DRS and the move is done before we even get to the corner. Can the Croatian brake late? Does brake late, but actually a little bit too late, and that also allows FP.JR to gain another place back up the order. And we're just about going to hold off Sam. Sam, however, manages to get a very nice exit, and that is clear tyre problems for the Croatian that's just beginning to plummet down the order. We're battling for the podium positions. Now we're trying to come back through the order. Suddenly they're just going to get absolutely gobbled up by the field. First to try and take a little nibble is Turkey. They're going to be on the outside up to Stowe, but it should be pretty simple with all that extra downforce. That then gives you the inside as you come down this little straight at Vale. And of course FP dives straight into the pits, knows when the battle is lost. And this changes the pit stop strategy just a little bit. And I'll say the were and the softs we get to see what tyre FP comes back out on, and that's going to dictate what everybody else does. Fourth is worth 6 points, so you very quickly see that finishing first versus finishing fourth, that is a real number of points. That's the same difference as you get between second and third in the real race as such at the end. So this event is important no matter
sorry
where
to cut you
are.
off there. It looks like the Finnish driver has just completely lost something there. That's Maku, I think. There was a tackle there.
Naki, as well, just making some contact with the drivers around. Naki was right up there, then made a little bit of contact with the Brazilian behind, and FP, well, I won't be too impressed with that one. FP Junior right on each other's tails, or third, I should say, sorry.
And the Greek driver
coming under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, the Greek driver, Reif, was just about to make a pass on the Austrian driver, Blanche, and it looks like job done. Similar tyres, just a little fresher there for Reif. You got those one-lap tyres all warmed up and passed job. That's P3. Now, in saying that with Hanty as well, yeah. So now at the moment, fourth place is 27.7 seconds off the leader. So it's going to be really close. Also, that's it's battle you can see on board there too with Greg Reifer and Blanche. They're both 27 and a half seconds off the leader. So if he can gain that and get ahead of them, he's got a net P2. But
and he might be able to do it because Blanc is coming back here. This battle not going to finish easily. Blanc down the inside, up the hill into Stowe. That was alarmingly simple for the Austrian. He got it done very, very cleanly as Reifler picks up a 3-second time penalty. That one for going off the road really of his own accord at the top of the hill. So that could come back as now Mark picks up a penalty. He is the second Austrian in this race, currently running dead last. So that one might not matter, especially given that the Austrian is some 11 seconds off the back of the field. This time, up the hill into still mighty tight. Hanty is coming up the hill. Blanc's coming round turn number 1. Just not quite going to be there, and actually slots out into third position. Reifler just about making enough time. Oh, huge moment for Hanty as well. Gets a Tokyo drift on through turn number 3. But soft tyres versus 5 for 2010. We're already through Cops. That's turn number 9, and on the descent into Maggots. You won't get a move done through Maggots Beckett's unless you are the bravest man alive. But you most certainly can get a move done in just a couple corners. It's all about the exit from this complex. Comes through Beckett's, through Chapel. It didn't look very good, to be honest. Suddenly dropped away.
It looks like he lifted a little bit. Why is that? Yeah, it seemed weird there.
It was an odd one. The DRS also didn't open on Hanty's car when realistically it should have. So potentially some mechanicals. I can't think of any other reason why that would happen. Maybe they just slipped up a little bit physically. Blanc comes in. 7 laps on those mediums. Blanc's come into the pits, which is surprising. So Reifler's now your race leader. Larson also coming in. These guys trying a 2-stop potentially.
And Reifler's showing AI for me. So that is interesting. I hope he's not AI because it's some exciting racing. But yeah, on the screen here, on board, it's showing his name above the car there is AI. So he's going to be in big trouble right now. He's an AI because the AI driver is just not going to drive as good as. Look at this, Brazilians in P2 and P3 now as FP moves up. We have a safety car. I didn't see the announcement.
I don't have an announcement. The safety car, is it out on track? I've definitely got
I can see the safety car right now. Yep, Reifler's just caught up to it.
Indeed. So that's why the exit was slow, because we suddenly went under safety car conditions. Also explains your additional pit stops. F1 2020, fantastic game is to play, decided not to tell us that we were under safety car conditions. So, for Stowe Corner, so at the top of this hill, we will then be told. And in fact, yes, safety car is coming in this lap. Right. So we will be racing once again. Reifler's got to try and make a fantastic restart because Hanty has fresh tyres. And then it's a case for everybody else who made that extra stop. Can they get through the field in time?
Yep, Reifler
just backs them up.
After Blanche had a little bit of a fall back there, but now he's up in the 8 with fresh tyres. So he can make a run here. Go ahead.
Yeah, and Reifler's gone. He accelerated as soon as that safety car was into the pits, not wasting any time. However, they've certainly not gone in a physical sense because both Brazilians are right on Reifler's tail. He picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Your effective race leader now is Handy, the Brazilian, and it's in fact a Brazil 1-2. Of course, they were champions, I believe, in the first World Cup of Nations event. Romania and Turkey, your other champions, Turkey trying to defend it. They'll all be out in the second
Mickey's
heat.
in the wall. The Finnish driver straight into the wall. Don't know what happened there. I just managed to catch the glimpse of it as I was changing on board there. So that's
Naki Maki has huge amounts of damage on the front of that car. Pretty much the entire right-hand side of the front wing's missing, and they go deep. The Finnish compatriot, a Daisy, comes past them, and it just opens up the field once again. The race gives us yet another surprise. 20 laps down, 6.5 left to race. I still have no idea who's going to qualify, as of course Naki Maki keeps dropping down the order. Balin is actually the Tony Montana. That was fantastic driving, fantastic racecraft from the Austrian team, and spot opportunity, but up the inside. That was one of the cars, I believe that was Blanc.
That's
there,
Blanc. That's Blanc.
Got it wrong. He's gone round. He's dropped down the order. Rejoined in 10th, and that's just about good enough in order to try and qualify. But they got cars all around them. No damage on the Austrian car, so gonna get away with that one. But it was all going so well. We complimented the racecraft, and the commentator's curse most certainly struck.
Yep, and we're seeing the Finnish driver boxing, obviously, with that damage. We'd see the retirement there of the Mexican driver there from Mexico. That's Eduardo, probably, or something like that. He's retired.
Yeah, that's a shame. But Ballin's going down the inside, run it around the outside of Brooklands, gains the inside for Luffield. That's P4 now for England. Croatia dropped down into 5th. However, they're going to try and fight back. Tucks into the slipstream. Can they try the Bottas immediate fight back into Kops? Not quite close enough. And now here is to run straight on at Kops' corner. In fact, Balin there, coming under threat again. Turkey's going to try and fight back into the inside. This contact between the two. Croatian driver just about holds the slide, drops down the order. Larson picks up yet another free place in this race. Fresh softs on the German car. They might be able to make up more places. DRS enabled now. Balin up past FP.JR because they're going to have to pit. That's going to drop them way down the order. The entire field will be through by the time the Brazilian crew have completed servicing that car. Yeah, Relapse deciding the best form of defense is a good attack, and deciding just to try and get ahead of a Daisy so that then the position for his teammate can be gained from somebody else. Down the inside into Luffield again, and it's not quite close enough. These two liveries very similar, almost player 1, player 2 variants of one another. They're going to try around the outside of Woodcote. They bang wheels. Who's going to be bravest when it comes to Kops? There's even a little bit of touching. I believe they both made it through okay. However, Sam Cap, not quite close enough to take advantage of that one. So, Relapse up into 9th, but the third Englishman of Sam still just outside of qualification. However, that's not for lack of trying, because they are very close as they come onto the second of the long straights on this track. Up the inside as a result of the slipstream. Can they get it done? The Finland is not giving up easily, however, and actually holds on around the outside at Stowe to then get an easy braking zone for Vale as Hanty sets fastest lap of the race.
Hanty has 6 seconds penalties. Not too bad, really. And that's 6 seconds of penalties, not too bad, because behind him, Reifer has 15 seconds of penalties.
Oh, it's Larson, around the outside up to Stowe. Is that one going to work? They braked a little bit later, carried the speed, got the move done, and I'll let you continue with the very important work of actually informing us what order these cars are really in. First, Reifler is going to come across second for Greece, but he's going to immediately drop behind Larson for Germany. Balin also pops up ahead of Reifler.
And Relapse, look at Relapse.
Drops down to Relapse, who somehow manages to pinch a podium for England. Blanc is 4th, Sam 5th, Balin 6th, as we mentioned. Reifler has dropped all the way down to 7th, as has Tony Montana in 8th. Mack is next, and there's contact! Huge contact as they come across the line. That was Maka and Sotos, I believe. The Finnish and the Greek drivers come across the line. Huge amounts of contact. Maka's going to qualify. Sotos isn't, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of inquiries into what on earth happened there. they're strewn across the track. Just outside the top 10, that Turkey finishes down despite mighty efforts. And Daisy, the Brazilian strategy, it worked for Hanti, it's not worked for FP. However, Naki Maki, I believe that is, or that's what we've been saying all race, they cross 5th. And we'll just wait on Cheshire. I'm going to go with Cat, although we can't see it. Cheshire Cat for Germany enters Vale for the final time of asking. It didn't go to plan for that car, but they do at least have a couple in the form of Hasselhoff and Larson entering the final.
Yep, so my prediction for a big haul of points there, England, has come true there, but obviously you can't take it away from Hanti there. And obviously the driver of the day there's Larson, so bringing in some points there for the German team. Larson and the Hoff had both scored points for Germany, and celebrate that, the Brazilian. That's definitely yours, your trophy, and you crowning the countries at the moment, shall we say? There, the Brazilian flag there, surrounded by the German and the British to round out the top 3 there. So penalties, that was the key one. So very good job there from the English driver there. Can't remember his name off the top of my head right now. We'll see it in one second. Relapse, exactly. He came back very, very... I was actually looking at him, and I was looking at through the list there, and it was like, he was in P8 for something, and I was like, no penalties. Oh, you're going to jump a lot. So here you go, if you want to go through the list there.
Yes, confirmation of the result in heat number 1 then. Qualifying, we got Hanti, Larson, Relapse, Blanc, Sam, Ballon, Reifler, Tony Montana, Hasselhoff, and Maka rounding it out, despite having only 3 wheels as they crossed the line. So that is Brazil, Germany, England, Austria, 2 further Englishmen, 2 Greeks, a second German in the form of Hasselhoff, and 1 Finnish driver crossing the line. We'll see if we can get some post-race interviews lined up for you in just a couple of minutes, so make sure to hang around, not only for the interviews, but of course there are 2 more races coming up this evening.